Howdy folks, Uncle Mason here. I'm here today to talk to you about our newest pedal, BAM, the Tone Secret. The Tone Secret is a culmination of one of my favorite sounds, which is the combination of a Stratocaster, a blackface Fender style amp, and a tube screamer. And the culmination of those three things creates some really iconic sounds, but many of us struggle to recreate in our homes and in our studios. I've always said that the reason for this is that many of us are using tube screamers incorrectly. If you look at the most iconic guys, whether you're talking about Stevie Ray Vaughan or John Mayer, they're all using the tube screamer almost as a mid-range booster into an amp that's already on the verge of breakup. And they're just using the tube screamer to kind of push it a little bit further and get those tubes to start cooking a little bit harder. But when you're using a tube screamer at home and you have a clean amp, the only thing you can do to help approximate that is just add more gain. And in a tube screamer, that just narrows and compresses the bandwidth and gets that really boxy sound that none of us like. So what I did with the Tone Secret is I recreated the independent elements that I believe creates the ultimate tube screamer sound, which is, of course, the classic TS style circuit. And I really like the TS10 era or the Maxon era. And then my favorite blackface preamp is from the Super Reaper. So I recreated those two independent circuits, made a solid state version of a 12AX7 Fender blackface style preamp, did the classic TS10 Maxon style tube screamer circuit, and I made them together in one pedal. I'm going to now illustrate some of these exact tones. I'm using my friends Ronquillo and Sean Tubbs, who've done some beautiful videos, and I'm going to pull some excerpts from there so you can see exactly what it is that I'm talking about. Stay tuned. So I'm starting off here by listening to the audio tracks that I've been given by Sean and RJ. And I'm listening to them in isolation, and then I'm going to reconnect and sync this with the actual video. I'm just kind of explaining to you what it is that I'm hearing and the key differentiators that would separate this from what a normal tube screamer would record like versus what it is that they're doing. So you can sort of see in the context of them playing how this might translate into your own amplifier. So I can hear just, straight clean here. This is a Sir Bella. Some kind of double stoppy, Hendrixy type stuff here. A little bluesy stuff. Just stays fat, stays nice, kind of claw-ish, I'd say. Kind of more of a typical bluesier sound. Kind of reminds me of the Scott Henderson Torn Down House type thing. The real differentiator to me is the low end. The bass is so fat here. On a tube screamer, that would be gone. Completely disappeared. Here goes on a telly now. Really nice and fat. Doesn't sound too thin on top, but it still has the twang, which is different than a tube screamer. Tube screamer just wreck all that high end. And here you hear the bass again. It's fat, almost kind of has like a Nobles quality, because you can adjust that mid-range to get all these flavors in between. Great, just like rock rhythm here. It's very neutral sound, just very natural. Now we're going to go to RJ Ronquillo. In this particular scenario, I'm not going to be going for a style that I intended to make this for. It's pretty high gain in the direction that he's going, and his video spans a lot of different territories. I'm going to link that here so you can see how he intended it, but I'm using it for one specific example, which is how the pedal reacts like an amplifier. Because he dials in a high gain tone, and then he reaches for the master and attenuates it almost to zero, where there's almost no volume coming out whatsoever. And the thing that really differentiates this pedal from many other overdrives is when you bring the level down, it doesn't change the entire character of the pedal. You can actually hear all the nuances of the distortion and the EQ that he's dialed in, but all it does is attenuate the volume. So this allows you to use the pedal at ostensibly any volume and still get the same type of burn that you would expect and that you've dialed in so that your amp works synergistically with the pedal. So a little more mid-range amp here in the clean tone, super high gain, those nice pinch harmonics. This is kind of a cooler, sort of dirty, rhythmy tone. I kind of like this, a little southern rockish. But here's where you hear him attenuate. Listen to this. Volume comes down. No change though. Listen to that. No change in the core tone. It's just the volume that's coming down here. And that's what's important. This is why it makes it important to have pedals that really dynamically react like amps. Because even though that's not maybe how you'd play, that's something that anybody can use. And it doesn't require any sort of attenuator. You can do it right from the pedal. And because it's built like an amp preamp, it reacts like an amp. So this is something that can translate across any type of amplifier that you're using it with and make it an extremely versatile pedal. And I think you've heard here how it can do kind of classic bluesier type things, but has a little bit more EQ capabilities than a regular tube screamer in addition to having a really amp-like feel. And it can do some great rock things, it can do some high gain stuff, and is overall not just a tube screamer, but something that can add a whole other dimension to what it is that you're doing. I'm going to link all the products and the videos that were included in this in the description from both Sean Tubbs and RJ Ronquillo. If you have questions about this or you think I'm completely out of my mind about how I've decided to go about designing what I consider to be the perfect context for the tube screamer, please put that in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you like what you're seeing here. And thanks again for watching. Adios.